dun, dun, dun. And we're live. We're live. Welcome to another episode of Indie Comics Interviews. And tonight we have some special guests, and one of which has not shown up yet, but hopefully he will. But until then, we have Ryan Wynn, and we are very honored to have Ryan Wynn. He's a cool dude, and he's got much up his sleeve. And he surprised me that he was working on some Captain Love fan art. So he's even cooler in my book all of a sudden. So it's like, yeah,
Might be a bit biased, but yeah,
that does create a little bit of bias. It does. It really, really does. So if you guys like looking to get on my good side, there's a good tip right there. And just tell you,
drop some love.
Sim knows. Sim knows. He shows around the fan art. He's actually done 2 fan art pieces for Captain Love now.
I did some sketch cards.
Oh, that's right. 3, because we did the sketch card. That's right. 3. Sweet. Hey, Joseph. Good to see you, buddy.
What's up? Welcome to the show.
So we are here. This is the part of the show where we pretty much just talk mad shit. And
you mean like every other show?
Yeah, like every other show where we just fill in the first few minutes so that we can get people collected in, get some eyes on it. Facebook tends to not know there's a show for the first few minutes, so we want to make sure we get that rolling.
And nobody gets notifications anymore on YouTube.
Yeah, nobody does.
Yeah, YouTube's definitely got something up their sleeve. I'm wondering what it is. Like,
don't be afraid to say it. YouTube's a bitch.
No, that's not new news. No, I mean, like the way that YouTube has been acting.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like the slowly saying, well, we're going to put ads on every video now. Oh, here's some new terms and conditions. You know what I mean? They're like slowly like rolling out these things. And whenever they do that, they make a massive structural change of some kind every time.
It's like the big changes that they did on Twitter not too long ago. Like everything, every retweet now is a quote tweet, right? I don't know if you guys noticed, but did you guys notice that there's many people that it says that you're not following them? You go to their thing, you're not following them. Out of nowhere, you click on it, but you were following them.
Right.
Or how many tweets did I like and retweeted, and out of the next day I see them pass around. I'm like, dude, I commented on it, but the like is gone.
Right. No, I see that a lot. In fact, I see. Hey, we got. Wait, that's Ryan Willem. It's like, hey, we got Ryan winning. It's you,
sorry, I just welcome in any. I tweeted it out and stuff. So I dabble in the chat too when I'm on shows. So
it just caught me off guard because I'm like, wait, he's here. But no, Lothar D is in the house. Lothar D, what's up, man? What's up? Yeah, we should, and Sim, if you could too, just like notify people that we have a show going. Just. I should do more.
I did
like,
not retweet.
We are live. I do.
Sometimes I don't even know that we're having a show. Like I know it like an hour before the show.
Well, we usually go every Tuesday, and we usually go every Monday, and it's always scheduled for those. Unless we.
That's what I'm saying, but that's the thing I'm trying to say is that right now, like you'll program this show, right?
Right.
I know there's a show, and I'll go on your channel. And it's not there.
Oh.
Even if you pre-programmed it, if I don't click on the link you shared, it doesn't show on your channel. It does the same thing to me and other people now.
YouTube.
Yeah.
That's what they've been doing. You'll program your pre-scheduled freaking stream, and it just doesn't show on your channel.
Even for my own videos, I have to go into the video studio or whatever and
get the shareable
link from there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but
I get the link. I get the link from StreamYard. I get the link through StreamYard. I pop it open in a browser where I can see it. That's where I get the link. And then
but before, like I would on a Tuesday, I know you set up the show in advance. I could just go on your goddamn channel and see it. It was there, subscribe, like reminder on.
As it used to be designed to do. Yeah. Son of a bitch. YouTube.
Fuck you. Is that what you wanted to say?
yeah, except I'm trying to quit swearing, man. You know what I mean?
Ah.
And he went for the harshest one of all.
Below me, then.
I mean, my I mean, it's like you know, I use the F word so frequently. You know, I have turned people who were never swearers into freaking like swearing like sailors, because I will use the word like every adjective. You know what I mean? Sometimes if I'm just, you know, like in a hurry and my mind is moving fast, it'll be like, oh, that effing dude and that F thing and this F that and F that and this was F and you know, I mean, seriously, I mean, I could like every third word could be fuck, you know, and it rolls out of my mouth so naturally, you know, like fuck this, fuck that, this is fucks, you know what I mean? It just, you know, but at the same time, I realize that there's issues with that when I'm doing broadcasts like this, when I'm talking to people at my church, when, you know, it's like, you know, there's little issues with naturally dropping swear words.
Oh, I used to replace it by frick you.
Yeah.
Frick you. Yeah.
Freak you.
You freaking freaker.
Yeah,
You
freaking
freaked up this time.
You ice hole.
Yeah,
It
it
was,
was a long time before my dad swore in front of me.
Oh,
You know,
everything just
we were
works.
church going family and stuff, and but then I started working with him in the sign shop, in the family sign shop, and we'd be out in the field, and he was just talking to some construction workers, and he dropped a bunch of F-bombs like casually into a sentence, and it was like the most shocking thing I'd ever heard. Like 8 years old, I was like, oh my gosh. And then I was like, oh, my first thoughts were, so when we're away from mom, we can say bad words.
Usually it's when you get pissed or you get passionate about something.
Yeah, but I think my dad, it was because he was like on the construction site, so he was speaking construction lingo to the sign dude. So it was just super casual. I just remember being shocked by it. It was like, whoa, I can't wait to try that.
It's just something I personally need to work on, because I've just gotten too relaxed about it, and I find and here's another reason why is certain kinds of advertising, right? Like if I wanted to advertise something and then they go and they want to see, you know, like my history before they let me advertise on their stuff, and they click on my videos and like it's just F this and F that and F this, you know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, we can't let him on our platform to advertise, you know what I mean?
Do you want me to sing the Jay and Bob song?
The Jay and Bob song. I love that one though. The Jay's song.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, motherfucking. Yeah, that's great.
That should be the start of the show now.
I personally
Be aware
personally
of
am
what
not-
happens in that show.
I'm personally not bothered by swearing at all, but I am bothered by the fact that when I swear, it bothers other people.
You know, fun fact about people that swear a lot, usually they're the most blunt and honest people.
Yeah, there are actually people who swear a lot are also tend to be like smarter. You know, I know that seems weird. Like, why would you be more intelligent if you actually, you know, use the swear words? But
It's simple. You've used words so often that you like to put the emphasis with an F on it to make sure that it's a different.
I'm going to swear more so I sound smarter.
Yeah. Exactly. You should swear more so you sound smarter. No, the scientific study that I read that actually said that was talking about how smart people you know, usually don't want to spend a whole lot of time impressing people with their language. They just want to get to the point, and their brains are outpace their mouth, so they get stuck. So swear words being the natural explanative, you know, what's the word I was looking
Emphasis.
for? Well, yeah, the what you use for an exclamation point, you know, is usually a swear word
To
you know what I mean?
emphasize a word, like to an extreme.
Yeah, when you hit your thumb or something like that, that's the kind of stuff that comes out of your mouth.
I really like it, like to an extreme point. You just go, I fucking love this.
I fucking love it. Or you're just like fuck. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, that kind of thing. Boy, we just broke all the swear thing, didn't I? I just blew that.
Yeah, we just filled the jar.
I'm trying to swear less, and we just like by talking about it, we just.
If
like,
you were
swear.
wondering why we do this, this is how we feed the cats over there. He has a swear jar.
That would work. Just saying.
The cat take extra swipes at his ankle so that he yells out swears to drop extra coin in.
What's up, Brian?
What's up, Brian?
Fellas? Yo, yo, yo. And then
Welcome to the party, bro.
Hello, hello.
What's
No,
going
I could
on?
feed my cats on a swear jar. I swear that's truth.
That swear tuna you're eating there, buddy.
Nice to meet you, Ryan.
Hey, nice to meet you too.
And who do we have listed as Captain Love? Who dat?
Oh, that's also that's me.
Him.
That's a sketch of Captain Love that I'm going to be inking while we chit chat.
Oh, dude, I just saw you move your arm and the page moved simultaneously. That was wild.
It's my non-special effects special.
Well,
Excellent.
Since you
Oh,
mentioned
yeah.
it, there we
That's
are.
great.
On that. Yeah, that looks cool.
The high cheekbones and like the literally square jaw. That's fucking awesome.
It is
Army
really
look.
cool. I like it.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, it's badass.
He's kind of I don't know, a character. I kind of got him right away. I was like, cool. I think I get this guy. I like him. And usually characters like that, they come out. Like, I'm not trying to brag, but I'm really happy with this. It came out like exactly how I pictured it in my head, which is not very many of the drawings I do come out that quick. But he was a good inspirational character.
That's actually like a thrill to hear that Captain Love is inspiring people. That's awesome. That's considering he's only been on the market just a little bit over a year. You know what I mean? That's
Well, it's interesting because writing is somewhat similar. Sometimes you have to wait for a while before you get a character or before a character starts to develop their own voice, and then other characters, they just emerge like fully formed.
Oh, yeah.
Or you just hear a couple of words, like Batman, pretty easy to get,
Mm-hmm.
guys like symbolically avenging his dead parents as a vigilante. Boom. By dressing up in a bat costume. Boom, you get him. And Captain Love's a character like that too, for sure.
Thank you. But yeah, so Captain Love available on Indiegogo. Go back it. All right. So let's talk about Hammerella. We're waiting for Phil to figure out
Hammerella.
if he's going to his date or not.
I'm doing that every goddamn time. Did you notice?
I love it.
Hammerella?
Is it an actual theme, or are you trying to? Is it like a little theme that you composed?
It's a theme that we use in the videos and some of the promos and stuff like that.
Bitchin'.
Kind of a little rock and roll song, and it's got a little high falsetto voices singing Hammerella.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, now we have to check that out. So
Yeah.
let's get this thing to load in real fast here, so that there we go.
Hammerella. Ah.
Basically, yeah. 48
Savior of
pages.
the universe.
I forgot to share it with volume. Hold on, damn it! Why do I got to keep making that same stupid mistake a year
I don't know.
later?
You think
When
you
are they
learn,
just going to
but
fix
I
it
don't.
for us and make it a thing you have to turn off?
You
Yeah,
know,
right.
that would make so much sense. You know what I mean?
It was.
It really and it's probably why they will never do it.
That's what I'm saying. It makes so much sense that's why it will never happen.
Yeah. And meanwhile, they'll make like some superficial, stupid changes that actually make the program even worse or less
48 pages of
intuitive.
action for readers of all
Exactly.
ages. Hammerella Thunder.
Let's try that again. Everybody was talking.
48 pages of action for readers of all ages. Hammerella Thundersmoke tells the story of Hammerella, descendant of gods and witches, stranded alone on a distant world since infancy. In order to survive, she must be as deadly as the beasts that hunt her. When she finally escapes, she finds herself in the midst of a galactic war. Will she live long enough to find her true home? Back the book to find out and help us extend the Gods and Gears universe.
Wait, I heard that.
You're thinking of Flash
Gods
Gordon.
and
Me, I'm
Gears
thinking of
universe.
Stripperella.
Right.
Gears universe.
Barbarella, you know?
Yeah, Barbarella was the first thing that came to my mind too. But that's a fucking awesome trailer. I love that. The animation's fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, I did that bit of animation. I have another video over on my Twitter that Pedro Eng did. He did this wonderful piece of Hammerella jumping over these mountains, and she lands, and her hammer charges up, and she swings, and the logo appears. I need to get that on the page, definitely.
Oh, almost. I'd love to see that. That's it. I mean, because I don't know. I found that really enchanting.
Thank you. Yeah, I kind of learned in the last year. Procreate on the iPad has a great 2D animation function, and I dabbled in animation when I was young, and when it all of a sudden appeared on my tablet in front of me, the ability to do it, I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna get back into this and use this as like promo for our comics and things like that.
It's just fantastic the way that the technology is getting better and better and easier to use, so that creative people can do more and more ambitious stuff that in the past would have required, a tremendous amount of money and time.
Yeah. I realize that I've been bitching for so long about how I wish I could draw. You know what I mean? I know I'll never be as good as my heroes. You know what I mean? But I probably will never draw my own book, but I probably will be able to do my own roughs. You know what I mean? So I have actually started researching a little bit so I can start drawing. So maybe in like 4 or 5 years, you guys might actually see something from me.
Awesome.
No, that's great. Like Keith Gleason, the writer for Mighty Mascots, he's super creative, but he doesn't really fancy himself an artist at all. But he does all the layouts, or he basically scripts Mighty Mascots with layouts, and he just does stick figures. But it's laid out properly. Like he's doing the panel work and the beats work, and he's working it out like that. But he just does these simple stick figures. I actually think they look really fun, and you should publish some of them in the back of the comic. But yeah, even if you're not inclined to be the artist, but you want to learn storytelling, you don't have to draw like Mark Silvestri to learn storytelling.
That's very true. That's very true. What up, Phil?
Well, the storytelling part, I'm okay of. You know what I mean? It's just that when I draw stuff, like I've done roughs before. I mean, I've done roughs for Captain Love a bunch of times. Like a lot of the stuff that you would see in the book is based on a rough that I did. You know what I mean? But it's just such a mess. Like it's such a horrible like visual thing to look at. You know what I mean? That I'm embarrassed. I mean, like stick figures would be a step up. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a little bit of that too. But whenever I've given, like roughs to an artist, by roughs, I think of it almost as like storyboards, right? I also do it with the caveat that like you don't have to stick with this. Like, don't consider this written in stone. If you have a better idea, go with it, because when you're working with an artist, they're going to see things that you, if you're not an artist, might miss.
Right, and there's exactly. I find an illustrator, who's done it before and has been working as a storyteller visually, has stuff they want to try that you may like your idea may inspire something that they've been wanting to do, and it's like they'll put even more love into it doing it their way. So
yes. Yeah. And what's great about that is, like I always say, is when they come up with great ideas, the reader doesn't know that. Who gets the credit? We do, right? so it's just like, go ahead, make the comic.
Win-win.
Fucking writers.
Exactly.
Stupid artists.
That was my idea.
Yeah, I write that book. Yeah.
Oh, I love that part where that was me.
Yeah,
I'm heavily grunting right now.
Yeah. Yep. But I
My
mean,
Kirby inside is really, really, really agitated.
Right. Well, I also
You're giving off strong Lee vibes, bro.
I always say, keep your artist happy, man. Make sure your artists are happy. They're gonna do their best work, and you're gonna get the glory for it.
Yeah, just too bad you can't pay your artists and hookers and coke, right?
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, too bad you have to pay them.
That's how I pay my brother.
Hookers and coke.
That explains so much. Why he's always busy.
That's why we never see him.
Yeah. But yeah, this looks great, man. And you're at what? Almost at 14K. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's huge. Everyone's been so supportive. Like we were chatting before the stream. It's one of those things with campaigns that it takes a support team, not only like big names pushing you, but like all the little names that push constantly, that kind of like build a stronger structure below you.
Oh yeah.
You know, like I had friends that I knew they were friends, but when it came time to do this, they were like hitting me in the DMs. They're like, "All right, so I'm on your promotion team. What can I do to be helpful?" I was like, "Oh, cool. I mean, I just do whatever you're doing. Retweets are awesome. Just, do anything like that." And so everybody's just been insanely supportive. People inviting me on their shows. Like everyone, like I was telling you, everyone made what I thought might be an impossible goal possible. And we reached our goal and then some, where we're starting to hit those stretch goals now. And yeah, I can't thank everyone enough, especially you gents in the chat. The names I know, some of the ones I don't, but I know you guys have backed and supported. So thank you so much.
Ryan, what was the goal in this book?
The goal was 12. So
wow.
we were going big because it was the thing where, I priced everything out, and
Sure.
I didn't necessarily want to play the game of trying to reach a small goal and then not being able to fulfill properly in the time period and stuff. So we were like, we just want to go big and see if we can do it, because this is also going to be setting us up to do Gods and Gears issues 5 through 8, so that we don't have to necessarily run a campaign to get those started. So that this is setting up operations for like the Gods and Gears universe, not just Hammerella. So now that and again, going back to the support structure thing, now that I know kind of how things work, I know that I can trust we could like try reaching a smaller goal and like, use the algorithm to help us bump and stuff like that. But, going into it, this is my first time. So it was just like, I talked to everybody. Like I was getting into like, what should be my opening line? Where should I have art? How should I getting into like the design of the actual Indiegogo page itself, as like, how do I make this like, I want people to scroll to the next image. Like it was down to things like that, just trying to make everything enjoyable for anyone who happened to click on that link. Like just, even if it's not your thing, somehow you just want to see more of the art. I just want to, and you just keep scrolling, and maybe it somehow clicks halfway down the page. So I kind of just put my all into it and listen to all the, basically listen to everybody, because everybody's smarter than me.
Well, that's the thing. We've got a really awesome, supportive community, and this is your first campaign, you said, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and you got all this feedback and everything, because we've already done all the mistakes. We've already, we've already screwed up in every imaginable way. So we could share what to do and what not to do.
Oh yeah, and it immediately turns into, when I see a friend's page, or I'm trying to help promote some new young creators who don't really have much spotlight, and it's like I'm like, oh hey, you know what? There's this or that you can do with the page. I offer advice; they can take it or leave it. But there's things that I learned in the first week on like how to set something up or change your main image to be something more powerful, and just little things like that immediately made differences. And it was like, oh, I can't wait to tell my friend who's setting up his page about all these little things I learned that will make it so much easier. Like here, I've let me clear a little bit of the dust away for you and show you what I learned.
Hell yeah.
But then, especially listening to people who've gone through and done 4 or 5 campaigns, and like those are the kind of people, like I'll try out what they recommend blindly, just because like, okay, you've been to the top of the mountain, I'll just try what you said, because I have zero experience in this. So and sometimes it works, sometimes it didn't. Most of the time it worked.
Well, you'll find that there's a lot of variant techniques onto how to run a campaign, and there's no like surefire thing. But the truth of the matter is that Indiegogo and Kickstarter are completely different worlds. That's real true.
They really are.
Yeah. And then Indiegogo, most people who are interested in Indiegogo campaign are visual. You know what I mean? And they also, if you got somebody that they know involved in the campaign, you know what I mean? That's also a helpful sell. So like if somebody that they're a name that they've recognized or something like that, that helps. And then of course, the biggest thing that we've all discovered, and this is why we do what we do, is that showing yourself, letting the audience get to know you, to pitch your own book. Nothing will sell it more than that.
Yeah.
You know, except maybe an endorsement by a huge name, but that endorsement itself won't be enough by itself. If they endorse it while you're sitting there, being who you are and introducing yourself, that will go a long ways. Nothing goes further than that. So.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's what I used to love about conventions because, even though I worked on big two books and stuff, as an inker, you're not a draw at a convention. You're not like the conventions don't look at you like, oh, you're a name that brings people in, because for the most part, you don't. And that's not me whining. That's just exactly how it is. That's just the nature of the game. And that's fair. But when I was at conventions, like my table was always the funnest because I was always just like super real dude and just having fun, talking to people. Like I told... I don't tell tales out of school, but I would give honest answers to young students about like page rates and like what they could expect to happen in the market or out there on the market and things like that, where a lot, even today on Twitter, there's, pros blowing smoke up people's butt about like how good of an industry it is or how healthy it is for careers and stuff like that, which it absolutely is not. Yeah. And that's proof in lack of contracts, lowering page rates and lowering sales. It's all there. There's no... it's a bunch of BS. And when you're just super honest with people and fun, and then your product works as well. I was selling out of my indie books at PhoenixCon. Every time we had a show, we'd sell out of like 100 or 200 issues of a book. And it was blowing my mind. And I'd sell maybe 5 Batman books I worked on signed. Because people would come, they'd get their Batman book signed by me. We'd be hanging out. And then they're like, oh, you do an indie book too? Oh, this is cool. And then we're hanging out. And then like I would play games with people too, where if you came to my table and hung out, then I would say, oh, you've been here long enough. You're now part of my team. You have to come back later and tell me all the cool stuff you saw at the con. So then throughout the afternoon, I get everyone coming back and fill me in, tell me stories. And like, it was always such a good time. And this has really replaced that. Not completely, because, there's,
you don't have to face
person is great, but this has been such a great way to kind of replicate that.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait until cons come back for 2 reasons. One is I feel as though my whole business model has been shit on because of the pandemic, because I intended to move product at cons, and the few cons the very, very few cons that I've actually been able to go to, I totally moved product. The Captain Love was well received and sold pretty well. So it's like I know that I'll move a lot of product. The problem is that there's no cons right now. But when they do come back, I'm looking forward to actually having a better internet connection, because a lot of the places that have the bigger cons, you can pay extra and get a solid internet connection. So you can actually set up and live stream at the con, from the con, you know what I mean? And just
that's huge.
Yeah, and encourage people to come to the con. Who's at the con? I have found that people who are at the cons are checking their phone for people who are at the con.
Oh yeah,
I did that. Tim, do you remember this? I was on a show with you when Brandon and I were at a con before we shipped Magic Hop.
Yeah, it was doing the morning woke show, and Doodle and Chill. You and your bro were just standing there, like behind the table, or
he was holding it was streaming off of his phone. But yeah, that was fun. It's fun stuff.
And people loved it.
Cool. Yeah. That's fun.
Sim always says that this is a 24-hour a day, 7-day a week convention.
Yep.
And that is kind of what it is. And there's something about the convention experience, that being able to talk to people eye to eye, face to face, that's missing. But what is here that you get from the cons is the love for the medium and the excitement for the medium.
Mostly, if you go at the con now, you don't even have the comic book medium there. It's mainly about the movies, the
Video
TV
games.
shows, the
Yeah.
video games. It's not
Toys.
about comic. Like you go
Funko
there, you have
Pop.
you have a legend in the middle of in a corner somewhere that nobody fucking
Well,
notices.
wait, there's just before we go too far down that road, the people who do care about comics there are seeking out indie comics. I'm amazed by how many people seek out indie comics. I did
Yep.
not know that before.
Oh
And-
yeah, oh yeah. I at the New York Comic Con, I sold out of copies of Six Gun Gorilla 1 and 2 on like the second day. Like sold like 300 comics. I thought I was gonna have like leftovers, and instead I ran out of damn books. Yeah, absolutely. And my goodness, man, Independence Alley that year, it's like most of the other tables, most of the other indie books, they were all doing zombie comics, and The Walking Dead was the thing. So they're like, oh, I'll do a zombie comic. So then there's nothing but zombie comics, and it really taught me a lesson. Like, hey, do what you're right. Do the project that you're passionate about. Don't try to play the market, because if you're playing the market and trying to follow trends, guess what? Those can turn on a freaking dime.
Yeah.
And it doesn't hurt to bribe people with bananas.
Yes, yeah. Always have bananas at my table. Mucho potassium.
All right, so what inspired Hammerella, man?
Oh, who, me? Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm inking Captain Love here. I'm having fun doing something else.
Yeah, I'm enjoying too.
No, a lot of people, they immediately they think female Thor, and there is a little inspiration from my childhood with here I can even show it, or my youth, from this specific X-Men comic where Aurora gets her
Oh yeah.
own hammer. This has always just been a book I keep handy. I love the art, the storytelling. Art was coming off of his being in his heavy into his Michael Golden phase, and it was super detailed and a really dense book. And there was just a lot of imagery from there that always stuck with me. And then in the last few years, when everyone was, everybody got a chance with Thor's hammer or whatever, I don't really pay attention to Marvel, I don't know, last decade or so, just kind of peripherally, whatever I see, people talking about, or every once in a while I'll check out one of their books at the shop. And I was like, I don't know, I was just sketching in a sketchbook one day, like a year ago. And I was like, I don't know, I guess if I wanted someone else to pick up the hammer that from my childhood, like someone I was like, and it had to be a female or something, it would be like Monica Rambeau or something. And I started sketching that out. And like you guys were talking about earlier, some characters and some properties, you take years to create them. They have to percolate, they have to build and stuff. And as soon as this was the opposite, this was one of those, like I said, it all came at once. Everything I was like, oh, I'll do this funny thing that's a mashup. And as soon as I put pencil to paper, it was like, no, this is not a character mashup. This is what this character is. And she's this half demigod, half witch character. She's raised on this world with these beasts. Like, it was the entire story started coming to me as I was sketching the character. And she's going to escape this world. She's going to go try fight giant mechs. There's going to be a team of pilots that's sort of like Gatchaman and sort of like Silverhawks. It's going to be this big, action adventure. We're going to pull from heavy metal and pull from Japanese animation in the 80s and kind of mash it all. And it was the entire night. And then the next day, the theme song came to me while I was finishing the sketch. And I was just like, God, nothing's ever comes to me this easily. So I took it to Peter Samedi, and he was like, I didn't want to do Gods and Gears spin-offs. I didn't like the idea. Like, we just barely sold 4 issues of an indie book. And I didn't want to be like, oh, well, now we can expand and everyone will buy whatever I put out from Gods and Gears now. I didn't want to kind of put that expectation on the fans, and I didn't want to kind of seem like egotistical about that either. So I was kind of like, I didn't know if I wanted it to be part of Gods and Gears, but I had a direct path. Like, part of the inspiration came from an idea in Gods and Gears too, that same day. And in talking to him, he was like, well, why don't you do something like it's like a one-shot annual that you do every year, and you can introduce a new character because you've got these other character ideas, and have the series go on. Dean does that art, and you do the art for these annuals, these like one-shots, and we're like, that's when it came together probably like 8 months ago, and we put out the email, started collecting emails and stuff like that, and just slowly started building it all together, and then building it into the Gods and Gears universe, which took a little bit of time because we recently expanded that to an ongoing series. So we got to tie it all together.
Awesome, man.
Very cool. Very cool. This book does look like a lot of fun. It really does. The whole. I mean, obviously, the first impression I got was Barbarella meets Thor. I mean, that's like an obvious like first impression.
Yes.
But then when I saw it, like it was gonna have mechs, I was all like, okay, that's like something completely different, So I was thinking more interest, and then I dug a little deeper, and I'm like, this book looks really fun. I mean,
awesome.
Yeah.
It was also that really, thing, go ahead, sorry.
I was saying, and it really has that like that Silver Age comic feel, you know what I mean, to it.
Yeah, that's the whole Gods and Gears vibe is kind of to have that Silver Age feel. We don't even just in the aesthetic narrative side of things, we don't shy away from caption boxes or thought balloons. We even employed those as part of it. We don't overuse them. We don't try to use them as a gimmick. I took a lot of time. Of course, as a kid, I read a bunch of Peter David and Chris Claremont, but as an adult, going back and sort of dissecting how they deliver information and they compare it to what's on the page and stuff. And then also keeping in mind that these guys were writing those scripts in a matter of 2 to 3 weeks at a time, one right after the other each month, where they weren't sitting down and like, oh, I'm going to spend the next 6 months plotting out this storyline. They were shooting from the hip, and we kind of wanted to have that vibe too. And always be careful what you wish for, because even though we had a story endpoint, we were kind of finishing each script as we went along because we wanted that shoot from the hip. And then tons of life stuff happened and made it even harder. And but we feel like it was something that like honed our focus, and we produced the best thing we could, and we were so happy with the ending of it. And we're really stoked to go forward, but we're not going to play the game of trying to shoot from the hip again, because the universe itself is like, oh yeah, you want to play that game? I can play that game too. Because we had literally had like deaths in the family happen, all kinds of stuff during the process of this, and some of that on Dean's side, and he produced some of the best art through the darkest times. And I don't know where I'm going with this now. Now I'm rambling. Now I'm just straight up freestyle.
Hey man, one of the things that you just touched on is the sustaining nature of art. I lost some family too this year. Really brutal time. But my goodness, making comics is such a joy, and it's a process of making them, putting them out, packing them, shipping them to people, and then of course seeing them in people's hands is just incredibly rewarding, and will get you through some dark days for sure.
No, definitely, and especially like the theme of our book, like the characters, it's about them losing people, so it was like it seemed extra heavy, but then I was even asking him like, do we want to continue, and he was just kind of like, I feel like we're supposed to. I just feel like this is all part of it, and also, he was like, if I don't dive into the page, I'm just going to dive into sorrow somewhere else. Mm-hmm. So, let me put all my focus into storytelling and trying to deliver something emotive to the reader. Because even though we have like everything looks all fun with the Gods and Gears, like even with Hammerella, we dig deep into the emotion of the characters. Like we're trying to tell a story that could be told without all this fantastic stuff. So Hammerella is the tale of this girl who's raised in the wilderness, basically, and when she finally comes to civilization, they're in the midst of galactic war, and she's going to go through the experience of like, what's it like to be in a crowd of people? What's it like to to have people praising you for having done good. And she's going to have a lot of trouble with that. She's going to have, trouble adapting to even things like that. So we're going to, it's sort of like, I always joke that it's a mashup of Cosmic Jungle Book meets Cosmic Nell. That's that movie with the Western Jodie Foster, where she was raised in the woods and couldn't talk.
That was
right?
hilarious. Yeah, that movie was actually pretty good. But I mean, that whole like not talking thing, that was, yeah.
No, you're right. And the movie is good. And it's actually super interesting. And I'm drawing real stuff from that, not comedic stuff. Like I always joke, like wonderful. We make jokes about the movie around here and stuff, but like
I've used the term Chickabee as a reference to that movie so many times. It's just yeah.
Well, we get here in Southern California, we get the Santa Ana winds, and so every time the trees start blowing, someone's like, "Oh, it's a Tay-Tay and a wind, Tay-Tay and a wind." And like if you're like an outsider hanging out with our group, you're like, "What the heck is going on with these people?"
And let me tell you, man, when you can put together a book that's fun, but that also touches people emotionally, that's the sweet spot right there, man.
Yeah, and it's something I didn't expect it to be the emotional ride for us as creators, because I don't know, we're older, we're experienced, and like with inking and stuff, it's kind of like, I don't know, man up and do the project, It's like whatever. It's like bear through, put the hours in, don't whine, don't complain, nothing hurts, I can do this. And with writing, I'm like, oh man, I'm super bummed because my character's super bummed right now. I'm like, oh, and then like, oh, now I have to make my readers super bummed too.
Yeah, man. Yeah, because you have to go there. You have to go there yourself in order to evoke the proper emotion. Absolutely.
And I didn't think it'd be that big a deal because we're doing like an 80s cartoon as a comic book, But then I'm looking back at those things and I'm like, oh man, there's a lot of emotion. There really is a lot of emotion in Thundercats. Like their little family clan, like deals with a lot of stuff, and like they actually kind of like deal with like him being an adult all of a sudden, how weird that is, and like how like everyone's always got to remember that like he's kind of dumb because he's a kid,
right? And he has trouble with the responsibility. He has all kinds of trouble with responsibility, and he makes so many mistakes.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's the thing, making mistakes and not being afraid to make your characters do that.
It was the same principle with Hot Rod, remember? Rodimus Prime.
Wait, what was that? I couldn't hear that well.
It was the same principle with Hot Rod. Rodimus Prime in Transformers. The guy that made all the mistakes. Even got Optimus Prime killed.
Spoilers, man. Come on.
He's gonna rent that for
40 years in watch. Yeah, there's no spoilers.
Yeah, but you look back at well done comic books that were aimed at children, well done children's literature, well done children's films. They all have an emotional resonance to them. That that the old Grimm's fairy tales have, and that's why so much crap came out. I know when I was a kid, Saturday morning cartoons and shit that was just empty because well, it's like, oh, we don't want to get the kids upset. You know what? Kids like their art a little bit dark. They like their storytelling a little bit dark.
Oh man, my Saturday morning cartoons were hella dark. When I was a little kid, I remember Robin's parents dying. You know what I mean? In the cartoon.
I'm sorry. Real life ain't that happy fucking pretty.
Yeah, exactly.
Real life is dark. Like, you get a heartbreak, you fall in love, and that gets you in a dark little corner sometimes.
And also, parents want to protect their children from the world. And then once you find out that Santa Claus isn't real, then you start thinking, well, what else are they lying?
Wait. Santa Claus is real.
More spoilers. Yeah, jeez.
Santa ain't real.
Don't even say nothing like that, man. That's not funny. Santa's real, man.
I apologize.
I'm coming to your house, Brian.
Oh, cool. Wait, did you already sign this? I'm not sure if this is signed.
Yeah, it's signed.
It's signed. Okay, you can sign it again.
let's roll through these tiers real fast. We can
Oh,
encourage everybody to spend some money on a book. All right. So
Definitely.
we got the Slammin' Hammerella set. It says Hammerella plus Gods and Gears 1 through 4 plus swag plus a print. That's a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah, and you're gonna get the buttons and the keychain come in that, and gosh, what else? The sticker, yeah, the buttons, the keychain, everything comes in that. I was asking the readers what they wanted, and I gave them choices of buttons, stickers, keychains, and they just said yes. I was like, okay, that's not what I was asking, but that's what you're gonna get. So yeah, we went with everything on that one, and everything comes signed, and those are the issues from Alterna. Those are the 4 newsprint issues. It will be. I do want to state that will be a second print of issue 1, because since all this started, we ran out of issue 1s of first print, which is super cool, but also a bummer when you're trying to sell all 4 issues. But so come January, we're gonna have the first print, so that the time well before this ships out, we're gonna have those in stock. But I just want to make that clear for people.
So no one's like thinking they're getting a first issue print, and
yeah, if those are end up going for $5 here or there because they're rare now, I don't want somebody thinking they're getting that. So I'm trying to make that clear everywhere. But you can't change the perk once it's been clicked on. So
right.
I just spout it out whenever I get the chance. But it's definitely the best deal. You get the best bang for your buck, and you get all the fun stuff signed by me.
Awesome. And then you got the digital for 10 right here.
Yeah,
explanatory, pretty much.
That's been great. It was one that we didn't put on right away. A bunch of people said, wait till somebody asks, and then immediately everyone asked. So I was like, from now on, I'm just going to always have the digital option.
I'm a big believer in it personally.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that we really lose anything from piracy. As Sim always likes to point out, it's like, guess what? People can, if they want to pirate your book, they could do it with a phone app now.
Oh, I'm not even worried about that. I'm not like pro piracy, but I just, even years of dealing with big 2 books and stuff, I'm just like, I don't know, people are reading it and it makes them want to buy some. I also don't have the energy to deal with that. I'm not going out pirate hunting. I'd rather just make books, and if I don't know, I'd be super stoked if I went to one of those torrent sites and it said Gods and Gears has been downloaded 10,000 times. I'd be like, hell yeah, that's right, mofos.
Dude, I literally, the day after I put out like the first issue of my book on digital, I went, okay, let me go to Pirate Bay. Boom, it was there. I didn't have a problem. To me, it's just like, it's no different than somebody copying like a record or a DVD or sharing stuff. But this is also a collector's driven medium and market. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But having the digital option, that's really, really good for foreign backers that don't want to pay $25, $26 for shipping, which we hate, having to charge people for.
Well, that and one of my theories too, I was talking with a couple young creators yesterday about it, is I think we're going to see more digital sales picking up on IGG books with just this last 6 months. There was like such a swell in books. So not everyone's going to be able to afford that $25-$20 for the book. So I guarantee, I'm always wrong, but I'm going to guarantee that 2021 we're going to see an uptick in digital book sales, because people are still going to want to support at that $3, $5, $8, or $10 level, whatever people are putting the PDFs out at. So I think we're going to see more. I understand too. It was recommended to me because it was like, have fewer perks from some of the recommendations were have fewer perks and have less lower end perks, because you want stuff that pushes. And I ended up kind of working against that a little bit, and it worked to my advantage. And I was also doing things I like you can see on the screen now, like the sketch cards that I was doing for people. All my sketches, they start $50, $75, $100. And this was like a way that I could get original art to people at an extremely affordable price for them. So if they just backed the book and they wanted a sketch, but that $50 level was too much, you could easily get one of your own sketch cards, and we even had an option that get your character sketched. If you have a creator-owned character, I'll sketch that character for you at a $15 level. So that it was just trying to, I know it doesn't bring in a big bump, but it gives me the opportunity to get original art out to more people without charging them an arm and a leg.
That's awesome.
See, I find the people that say, have the higher dollar tiers, you know what I mean, and approach it like that, have a pretty much well-established following already, and they don't even really have to put the effort into their campaign to sell that stuff. You know what I mean? So, it's you got to take that stuff with a grain of salt. Some of us, don't have industry chops. I've never worked with the big two. Captain Love is my first comic story. I've written screenplays. I've done film work. I played in a band on the road. I have fans from my past, from all kinds of different stuff I've done in the past, but none of those are comic book fans. I had to build a whole new fan base and a whole new following. And so I'm still a very small fellow, you know what I mean? So it's I understand why the approach to have something smaller or something more affordable makes it easier to get into somebody's hands. That makes a whole lot of sense. So
well, and it was something I used to do at conventions, again going back to cons, that other creators used to always get mad at me, is my prints were always $10.
Nice.
I wouldn't go above $10 for the longest time. And I won't name names or anything, but other big creators that are big bossy dudes, they would literally come up to my desk and you can't be doing this. And they try to make it sound like I was doing a disservice to myself.
Yeah, it happened to me too.
Instead of I was dude, these prints cost me $1 to make, and all of my fans are people that I like. And
right, you feel guilty.
Yeah. I didn't even used to take money at cons. I had a friend or my wife, they would handle all the money taking, so that my only interaction with people was talking art, comics, fun stuff. And then when they wanted to buy stuff, it was cool, Giddy or Adam or somebody will help you with that. Because I didn't even like doing that.
We have
that's awesome.
We got the legendary Art Bear in the audience. Welcome, Art. It is great to see you, man.
What up, Art? Art's preparing for a big move to Tejas.
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll close the deal. Hopefully you'll be closing that deal on his house by Friday.
Hopefully. We
I'm
also
part of Art Bear's inking lineage. Art was Danny Mickey's mentor and teacher, and Danny Mickey was my mentor and teacher.
No shit.
So yeah.
That's so cool. That's
Same with
cool.
Scoutman.
So I've heard all kinds of stories of grumpy Art. Oh man. Oh, I got all this stuff.
you got dirt. Oh yeah. We gotta hear some of that. We got, of course, El Gargoyles in the house, Joseph King. Everybody go check out Slaughter Squad. I don't know if it's still in demand. I hope it's still in demand. But thanks for joining us, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for
really appreciate it. And this is an amazing looking book, man. It's hot like salsa picante, flambe.
I love the hammer. I love that it's like a two-handed war hammer instead of a one-handed hammer.
Yeah, that was the other thing in the initial sketch. She had the broad shoulders, the thicker thighs, and the hammer, and it was all meant to look like, she could smash giant monsters with it, and she looks like she could swing that it's got to be 500-pound hammer. It's this giant thing. So she had to look like she could swing. She's still attractive. She's still pretty. We don't really go for super sexy because we're all ages in the Gods and Gears universe. But I don't know. We also don't shy away. Our bad girl in the first book, she's all cleavagey and shows tons of skin. So think what you will from it. But we don't push the sexy angle as much. But still, I wanted her to be pretty, but she had to look like she could swing that thing.
Right.
And the other cool thing, brag about the hammer really quick, that I like about it is that being that she's half demigod and half witch, the hammer also doubles as a magic wand. So in the story, she's going to learn how to summon these beasts with the hammer that she can employ in battle. It's going to be really cool.
And in the fan art I made the hammer bigger, and she still looks like she can ruin your day with it.
You know, I encourage anything like that in the fan art because, like, it's emphasis. I don't know. To me, it's like the hammer meant that much in the image. It's that powerful. Like, I would never tell you to minimize it at all.
Well, yeah, because then you've also got other artists that are interpreting your character in their way, which is always exciting.
No, exactly.
That's actually the coolest. I was saying before the show, I don't get nearly enough fan art. I actually love seeing fan art and how other people see Captain Love through their own eyes. I love that. That's just like one of my that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's the best feeling. So cool.
Art thinking, was it Phil Oakes? If I had a hammer, I would hammer in the morning. I would hammer. We know you would. Okay, we get it. We get it, Art. We get it. Yeah,
It's hammer time.
you're gonna be doing a lot of. Well, hopefully not a lot of hammering. Hopefully there's the new house isn't gonna require that much fixing up.
Yeah, he'll be hammering to hang paintings. That'll be about it. Pictures, artwork.
Yeah. But,
Yeah, my dad just did his great escape from California and moved to Nevada.
Oh yeah, it's the new craze.
Yeah, he's like he's like, "Hey, it snowed this morning." I'm like, "Geez, all right." Which I know tons of you deal with snow. I'm where I am. We don't have snow at all, and within 5 days, he's there.
I'm in California also. We don't. I don't see snow here in the Central Valley. So.
Yeah, I mean, I see it miles away on the mountains, but not anywhere near here.
Exactly.
I'm in New York, and we definitely see some snow, but not as much as our brothers to the north. That's for sure.
Sim, have you had snow yet? Sim?
Yep. What? Sorry, at
You got
first.
snow?
Is there snow by you right now?
There's not much snow. It snowed a little bit yesterday, but we did have icy rain.
Ooh.
Oh, that's always fun.
Jeez.
So yesterday, like a day or two, like a day and a half, was like icy rain. Then last night they started like having like little snowflakes.
Is it just me, or when like I don't know, like 15 years ago, wasn't like
Yes,
there's
there was
snow
a big.
around Thanksgiving? Now there's no snow until January by me.
Yep.
The seasons are changing. Like
It
warming
was
is like shifting shit. Yeah.
Before they try to call it global warming, it used to be called like weather change, and we all studied that in science.
Ozone depletion.
that was global warming. Was the ozone issue back when I was in high school, and then now it's climate change, and there is science. I mean, Greenland is pretty much actually becoming green. So
It's been proven that the climate change actually does happen over time.
Oh my God! Over in Siberia, like they're worried about the permafrost melting because that's going to release like a ton of methane gas.
Yeah, that'll be a good time.
So there will be no smoking in that area for a long time.
Ozone depletion reminds me.
It just smells like a fart too.
I don't know how much of the X-Men animated series you guys watch, but I had the VHS tape of the first episode, Night of Sentinels, and in that, I think like Jubilee asks the X-Men, they're like, "Wow, how do mutants made?" And then Beast says, "Ozone depletion or television." And just like
or television.
he lists like three things, like ozone depletion, television.
See, when I was a kid in California, the only thing they scared us about. I mean, there was environment and weather stuff, and we actually had horrible smog back then. But the big thing was earthquakes. They would I remember having like early 80s, we had seminars, and they'd be like, "Oh, by 1990, California is going to fall off America," and you're like, "What? What?" And looking back, I'm like, "Why would you tell kids this? Why? Like, even if it was going to happen, you're like, don't tell kids that." Like.
Actually, it's been. I mean, considering where the fault lines exist, there's always been the fear that California would split down the middle and half of it would fall off the shelf. But then science has dug a little deeper, and it's going to take a lot more than just one little, one earthquake to make that happen. But who knows what'll happen. I mean, exactly how what'll happen if there's a big shift like that. It could be that it could be something completely different. It could be something horrible, like the Central Valley turns into a big pool. You know what I mean? Because of the split. It's you never know what's going to happen. But if you spend all your time worrying about something like that that's completely out of your control, you just drive yourself nuts. So
Yep.
Yeah.
So back to the book.
Sorry, I get lost talking. I'm just.
So we got the book only for 20. That's self-explanatory. So if you want the book, just the book, nothing but the book and the stretch goals, you get this one. And then this custom comic display, I thought that was pretty cool. Do you like have these pre-made? I mean, what says your name here? Is that your name or their name?
That'll be the backer's name. You can get your own comic logo put on there. You can put I think Ink Spots wants to just put the word porno on there and just have his collection of magazines in there. You can do whatever you want with that. That is up to you.
That's awesome.
And yeah, but my family owns a sign shop, and we do similar things like this with wood and acrylic and stuff like that. And last year I designed this for Gods and Gears for retailers. And if they had ordered X amount of books, they got this for their shop. And everybody said they wanted it. So we made it available here, and it's also as an add-on. And
it's made out of wood, or
I'm sorry, yeah, it's made the other perk says wood display on it big. I'm sorry, I forgot. So yes, this is made out of 1/8-inch plywood, and it's the nice stuff. It's nice plywood. It's birch, and it snaps together. There's no tools needed. There's no glue needed. It keeps itself together, and you can pick that thing up. I should have I can't get to my example right now, but yeah, it's. I mean, I know I designed it, but it's pretty cool.
Awesome. Very cool, though. And then you got a Gods and Gears trucker hat and ringer tee.
Yeah, another thing that I was asked for by everyone. They didn't even want Hammerella hats. They just wanted Gods and Gears hats. So we went with that. Those are also available as an add-on. But for some of my fans that are just Gods and Gears diehards, I wanted to make it available as a perk as well.
Well, that also helps the campaigns. That's awesome. A place they can get that in. Now, does a book come with that, or they just get the shirt and hat?
No, that was just like I was saying, in case I had some Gods and Gears fans that they weren't necessarily into Hammerella, or they didn't want to back that, but they want stuff for their Gods and Gears collection, they could just buy that.
Okay, so it's just that. Okay, and what's the Death Betty bundle?
It's not. This is what I made a mistake. Shouldn't have called it a bundle, but the Death Betty was an indie series that I co-created and did the art for, and a little bit of writing. It came out a few years ago. We put 3 issues up on Comixology. We're going to print them next year, but this has the very first appearance of the Gods and Gears characters in the back of it. It's got a 5-page preview that we've done, and this is for the diehard Gods and Gears fan. I found 10 of these just a few weeks ago, maybe like 3-4 weeks ago, whenever I put this perk up. And so I made those available to them, and we had a bunch go through. And here's a little lesson for everybody. When you add a new perk, make sure to take care of your shipping, because everyone that orders from that, you get to pay their shipping. So we had a bunch go through, and I didn't adjust the shipping. But luckily, again, everyone's so supportive. People that backed it were the ones that told me, "Hey, you didn't adjust for shipping on this."
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. Well, I got you guys on this one, but I'm gonna re-upload the perks. So, yeah, we still have those available, and those are like I said, I only expect the diehards to go for that.
Okay. So how did that work out on Comixology? I haven't had any experience with Comixology yet, so I'm just curious.
It was pretty good in the beginning. We launched our books kind of like, I think we were doing monthly or bi-monthly just for the first 3 or 4 issues. And it was pretty good in the beginning. I want to say like the first couple months on each issue was like a few hundred. And it made me think like, oh, this is cool. If I keep promoting it, this will keep up. If I keep doing X amount, which I later learned in with dealing with IGG, YouTube, and promotion, that worked better when I'm doing it in my own control. But with Comixology, I had those big numbers and then huge drops. And then I was talking to other people, and it was basically that's kind of how they were figuring out there were fewer digital readers than we thought out there going on, because like you'd get these little swells, and then no matter how big or how popular you are, the book is, it was only reaching these like couple hundred people, these few hundred people. And for us,
there aren't that many buyers out there for digital. Yeah,
exactly. So when it was new, everyone that was following me and everyone that was buying digitally, and it was getting promoted by Comixology, pushed on the front page. So I was like, cool, if we could sell a couple hundred, we're selling 150 a month now. If we can move it up to a couple hundred, again, they're only dollar comics, so we're not raking in thousands, even if we're making that much steadily. But over a year, that's a good chunk of money. Even making $100 a month on anything is better than nothing. Right. So yeah, for a few months we were super hopeful, and then it just dropped off to like a couple a month, no matter how much promotion I was doing at the time. Because I wasn't going on streams and stuff. This was 4 or 5 years ago. But sorry, go ahead.
I was like, yeah, because basically everybody who was going to buy it has already bought it for the most part, and you're just picking up stragglers. Yeah,
exactly. So it's not a bad place, but it's not a place that I'm spending time pushing or promoting that much.
Understandable. All right, so a book and a shirt, and this is a Hammerella shirt, which looks like a nice Dodgers baseball jersey, kind of, but blue. I mean, but not blue.
Going for the baseball tee on that. That's my personal favorite taste in t-shirts, and I got approval from the fans, so went ahead with that. And really excited to get those made. My t-shirt guy's pretty stoked on those too, so I can't wait to get those.
Cool. And then a book and display, and this is a Gods and Gears display.
Yeah, that's for the Gods and Gears collectors. Now that we're ongoing, you can stick your Hammerellas in there. You can stick your Gods and Gears in there. You can stick whatever you want in there. Actually, I don't really care, but it will look cool in your display room, on your shelf, whatever.
Yeah, good holder for your tuna fish sandwich.
There you go. All
right, then the collector's case for $250.
Yeah, and this gets you everything. So this gives you everything from the featured perk, all the Gods and Gears books, the stickers, the buttons, the keychain, and the collector's case, which is a big plastic covered cardboard magnet encased collector's box. I think they call them store folios, the actual producers of them. And these have a clear sleeve on the front, so you can drop in a printed image or an original piece. And that's what I'm going to be doing on these. I'm going to do a cover quality piece of art for you and slip that in there.
Awesome.
You can take it out, do whatever you want with it, but you can keep it in there as well. We also talked to Alterna about getting them without the sticker, so that's going to be an option. Anyone that got that, we're going to be emailing you guys, and you can have the option of sticker. Yeah, you can have it there in the center, or we can move it, or just get rid of it completely.
Sweet.
That's cool.
Very cool. So you're at 13,714, 322 backers, and you're in demand. So, and this is planning to fulfill when?
I think March. We said we're going to be fulfilling in March. And
are you going to keep it? Are you going to keep it open after you start fulfilling and keep moving product through here after that?
Not totally sure about that, because we do want this to be kind of special, but we're definitely going to keep it open through at least until fulfillment, possibly through. I'm going to be limiting perks pretty soon too, but people asked me at least through Christmas to kind of keep it the same, because I was going to limit it right away. So I'm going to keep all those perks up for right now, and keep the same discounts. Anything that's been knocked down in price, it'll still be there through Christmas. But yeah, we're gonna reassess as we get closer to fulfillment on if we're gonna keep it open or not. Because
wait, does Sim fall out? I just see him there now.
Oh, he's back now.
Yeah, I just popped out. I don't know where. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I didn't do it.
The entire window just refreshed. I had to, re-enter the stream.
Yeah. All right. Well, now we got that figured out. So fantastic. If you guys have not backed Hammerella yet, you guys at least can get the $20 tier. This is going to be 64 pages now, or is that more?
It's It's 64 plus. We do have a stretch goal at 15,000 where I'm going to add 8 pages of story. Originally, that was just going to be kind of like taking a page that had like a cool half panel at the bottom and making that like a double pager and just kind of like increasing the art. But then now that I'm actually deep into the production of the book, I just came up with some killer story points that I would really love to inject into it. They aren't anything that like it doesn't take away from the story if they're not there, but it's just that little thing that you stumble upon when you're creating sometimes. And I was just like, oh, this would be a great way to use some of those pages. So yeah, I do hope we're getting there. So the story right now is 48 for sure. The 16 plus on that is Dean Kott's art from our original Gods and Gears story. It's kind of our 0 issue that we added to the book as well.
Fantastic. All right, that is
That's the
awesome.
project.
Yeah, that is just fantastic.
Thanks.
So we need to see this thing grow slowly. Looking forward to seeing how it all turns out, man. I'm excited to see more. Is what I'm saying here. So
thank you, and thank you for the chance
Can't wait to get it.
Thank you. Yeah, I can't thank you guys enough. The backing, the promotion, the fun. I don't know, these fun experiences, getting to hang out. Like I said, feels like we're at a con with everybody, just chilling.
Yeah, man. Without a doubt, that's what this is all about.
Yeah, it feels like a big con with the fans, but yeah, there's also the other side of it. Feels like a bullpen.
Exactly. Yeah, you hang out with your fellow creators, and
Great.
you also get to hang out with your backers. You know,
An
with
open door
the consumer.
bullpen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Like remember before when people used to tell stories about how they could just like walk all the way to Jack Kirby's house, knock on the door, and she would come out with sandwiches, and everybody was just chill with freaking Jack Kirby. That would be there drawing with a whole bunch of people and fans that would travel from everywhere across the fucking states just to go see Jack Kirby.
Yeah,
this is what we get to do here.
Yes. And I remember back when I was a kid, and I don't see this at conventions anymore. You would have an artist there with with their drafting table illustrating, and you could come and look over like Walter Simonson's shoulder and watch him draw Thor. And I don't see that stuff in it. I don't see that being a thing anymore.
I'm digging the artwork right now. This is just amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome, dude.
You got some serious skill, Ryan.
Seriously, man, you've got a beautiful looking book, and this is a badass illustration you're putting together.
Yeah,
here,
this is an amazing take on Captain Love. I mean, you've got this. You've definitely got his entire personality captured. I can see the expression in his face, the cockiness, the whole bit. It's all there, man.
He's got
I love the Bruce Timm. Exactly. I was just about to say the jaw is very Bruce Timm too.
Yeah, there's I don't shy away from my main influences. Kind of top 3. I don't even have to try; they just show up in my work. Is Art Adams, Walt Simonson, and Bruce Timm.
Oh God, nice combination.
They're the guys I traced the most as a kid, and the guys I like looking at the most.
Yeah, this is awesome.
That's some more. I didn't like that nose shadow, so I got to balance it out a little with the eye shadows here. Man, I don't like that at all. I hate that now. I hate that so much now. It looks like a mini Hitler stash. In person, it actually looks okay. For some reason on screen, it's not reading at all.
To fix it, bring it to the nostril.
What's that?
Bring the shadow, extend the shadow a bit to the nostril. It'll fix it.
Like around here to not hide it in that little thing there.
Like the cast shadow of the full nose.
Because I also have a lifting technique on sketch paper for lifting the ink that I could try, but we'll do this first.
Yeah, I'm all nervous now. You're working at ink. I'm like,
no pressure. No pressure. See,
Vanilla Ice. Yeah. Vanilla Ice saying it's not the same. It's not the same. That beat goes din 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 din. My beat goes din 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 dun 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 dun. So there's that little change. It's not the same.
True.
Dum 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 da da dum dum.
Yup.
That's funny. All right, so let's transition with that.
Yeah, let's look at Lost Pages.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, this
Phil.
campaign really needs a lot of promoting and pushing.
There's
Phil,
still books left to get rid of.
you have knocked it out of the park with Lost
Killing it.
Pigeons. Yeah,
Thank
I
you,
mean
brother.
with Magic Cop, you know, you had a slow start after the book came out. People dug it pretty hard. You rallied the troops on this one and hit a home run, man.
Without a doubt.
Thanks, man. It's been a crazy campaign, and fulfilling it as well. Everything that was initially ordered is now shipped off in the USPS. We've gotten
And I
more
know I
orders.
got mine. I know I got mine.
Oh yeah, awesome, man.
I'm sniffing mine right now.
Yeah, yeah. Brian's got his right there.
Dude, we need to get that candle for Brian, Phil.
Yeah, the comic book.
Yeah, the comic book smell candle. We have to get him a fucking box.
Yeah, that's true. No, but I mean, the success of this campaign is, it's the backers and fans and all the creative team that I had on here. We've had over almost 30 creators on this book between the stories and the trading cards, all kind of band managed by myself and rallied them up, and I feel like this book was built in the essence of CG.
So there's 30 creators on it, and you got to pay them each $1,000. So
Yeah, that's right. But like with the success of Magic Cop and kind of like the notoriety of that and being around everyone for that campaign, that made this book happen. I wouldn't have gotten guys like Joe Ball, or Dan Fraga for a trading card, worked with Kyung Lee in the bonus comic, guys like EJ Morges who did layouts for a story for me. I wouldn't have been able to do that without launching Magic Cop and CG and meeting everybody and learning about all these people. Preston Acevedo did a trading card for us. So this is a proof of CG and how someone that was trying to make it in indie comics, found this awesome, collective and was able to make something great of it.
Oh, and you did make something great of it. I loved it to pieces. I really did. It really has like a 80s, 90s indie comic feel to it. By that, I mean like it's alive.
Well, I love that you were able to approach it as an anthology book and basically get all these IPs you had basically out all at once versus in a bunch of separate books. That was pretty brilliant, and you had good success with that. That's pretty cool. So
thanks. Yeah, that's kind of like what Ryan was talking about, how doing the Hammerella thing and maybe doing the annuals or introducing new characters and stuff. That's kind of where we started with Zade Comics. We started with the silhouette back in like 2012, and we would go to like small conventions with this crappy book that wasn't even illustrated. It was pictures of my brother and myself and my buddies photoshopped to make it look like a comic of the silhouette. And yeah, I could show you. I have an old
dude.
Yeah,
dude, you gotta include that as an ash can, like
yeah,
one if you can.
Wait,
this was the second issue of that.
No shit.
You could see the silhouette in the reflection of this gas mask here, and it's Photoshop art basically. I played the silhouette, and I had my buddies film either in the back of the arcade I work at or in my garage sometimes in front of a green screen. And this is how originally we did it all those years ago. And then from the silhouette, I just started coming up with more characters that were in that universe. If you guys got the bonus comic, there's one character named Matt Black, and she was originally going to be the silhouette's like sidekick, So she has a story in the bonus comic, and Wild Card came out of here, and everybody. And so after Magic Cop, or actually before Magic Cop, I was trying to do stories like my Wild Card story. I wrote a script for that one, and that is what the story is in the Lost Pages. So I had these ideas that I wanted to do, but I didn't know which character to focus on because there's these characters that I wanted everybody to know, right? So we figured try to Tetris, these stories together where the audience would meet them all at once,
Yeah, well, it worked like a charm, man. It worked like a charm because each of these stories is like just enough to really whet your appetite and leave you wanting more.
That's what we were going for. And I kind of wrote it as like a love letter to comics because you have the different genres.
Yes.
We were able to get so many different artists that had very different styles from each other, going from the black and white of Maxie's work to like super detailed fantasy stuff that Joe's doing in Wild Card. Maria's just knocking it out of the park with that 90s bombastic.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Now, is it just me? I'm sorry to interrupt. Is it just me, or does her work have like a definite Robert Crumb influence?
That's what I hear a lot from people. And I don't know if it, her work does. She, is really big into stuff like Berserk. She's huge into Bisley. That's how I met her. We bonded over Lobo. I was actually dressed up as Lobo at Wizard World in like 2014 or something.
Pull that up.
She runs up to me. Here's this like 5 foot tall Mexican girl running up to me, handing me a Lobo print that she drew, and she's like, "I love your costume. You have to have my art." And I'm like, "All right." And she like just does this monstrous jacked beasts. And the cool thing is she's this like little girl that, she's my age, but she's very short, and she has a crowd around her table just because she draws like, her version of Bane and Lobo, but at the same time she has like these beautiful like dragons and werewolf pieces, original stuff that she does. But yeah, she also is a big fan of Humberto Ramos and lots of Marvel stuff. But yeah, and then rounding it off with that story or the book with The Masquerade and Alan's pulp style with lots of Bruce Timm influence. That's why I would love to see Ryan do The Masquerade, because that's that pulpy. It has a lot of Bruce Timm Batman animated series.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It certainly does. Here, we can make it. Maybe if
Well, maybe Phil wants to come on Late Night Ink sometime and try to ink a drawing I do.
Yeah. Well, I love just the action that Alan does. He's just kick-ass.
Oh God, I especially love this panel right here.
Yes, dude. That is one of my favorites also. That's an homage to a panel in Swamp Thing, Saga of Swamp Thing, I think 27, where Etrigan jumps down.
Yeah.
Breaks through. I'm a huge Etrigan
that.
fan, so.
Yeah, me too.
He nailed that panel.
Yeah. Everybody nailed it on this. It's wow. It not only met but exceeded my expectations. Definitely check this out, folks. This is
definitely a beautiful book. It really, really is.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I was excited to talk to you guys about it because I know people are getting them a lot, and they always have like piles of stuff that they have to read before they get to the Lost Pages. So no one's read it, but I know Brian, you read it.
Yeah, I love it. And can I say something also, man? Mm-hmm. Holy crap, man, Phil! I'm starting to get annoyed by people like you because
oh no,
you put so much swag, so much bonus stuff into this that like I'm thinking like, well, crap! It's like I gotta step my campaign up. My next campaign is gonna have stuff. Damn you!
we may have gone overboard because I was so excited
You
just to
did.
get all these artists to do these cards for us. Like, look at these are all. Well, these are some of the cards that you're gonna get. If you get the pack now, like if you buy a book, you're gonna get 8 cards, which is
Those out.
yeah. You have the mailing list card, which is that extra bonus one in the middle, which is kind of like a jam piece between the 3 artists. But yeah, everybody's gonna get those 8 cards. And the cool
That's
thing about those is those were kind of like another thing that I could do is write little bios about them on the back, so you could learn some extra stuff there.
You seriously, you went overboard, but that's awesome.
Yeah.
Sometimes less is more. Sometimes more is more.
Yeah, man.
And
Well,
see,
I
there's a little mask.
Yeah, that was fun. But I
And-
figured like we're building this universe, and I want people to know
Mhm.
as much about these characters as possible.
Look at all this stuff, man.
Yeah.
No, the cards are such a great way to do that.
Oh, people love the training cards, man.
Yeah.
Check that out.
Masquerade mask.
There's
Yeah.
the blockhead here for the silhouette. Postcard. Beautiful, nice, colorful bookmark.
Mm-hmm.
Just you got inundated with stuff.
And another thing too, especially with the trading cards, like because we had 2 books for the campaign. You can get the regular book, or you can get the book plus the bonus comic, which expands the universe. You get to meet even more characters. There's 4-page short stories in there that include the characters you have read about in the main book and more. So those trading cards that you got, they include those new characters. So if you got the main book and you got the trading cards, and you're like, oh, who's this character, the pianist or the people? You read about their bios on the back, and you're like, oh, these guys sound cool. And you want more stories with them, you can get the bonus comic. And we actually, after we shipped, we put this on the campaign page by itself. So if you guys missed out on it, you could actually go and grab that as well. And this has a beautiful Joe Ball double-page spread wraparound cover on it, colored by the same guy who colored the Bisley cover.
Oh.
So good.
God, man,
And this is all the characters right now that are in the books.
beautiful.
Yeah, he killed it on this.
Are you collecting any of the art?
What's that?
Are you collecting any of the original art? There's so much awesome art in this book.
Yeah, we sold this wraparound cover to an awesome collector that's been grabbing a lot of art from us. But yeah, I have
Very
some
cool.
pieces.
No, but I mean, selling it to a collector, that's just as cool. Like getting something. Yeah, see, I didn't even think about that with my stuff. I didn't think to try to sell the originals yet or anything.
It really helps out the
care.
campaign.
People love original art, man. They love original art.
That's awesome that somebody got that already.
Yeah, but there's some pieces that I do have, and I'm like, oh, the first page where you see the silhouette, I got to keep that because that's our baby. That's where Zade
Mhm.
Comics started.
That's like stores used to frame their first dollar they
Yeah.
made. You could slab
Yeah.
your first comic
Yeah.
or the first original page,
Mhm.
first page from the book. That's cool.
Yeah, there's the people. There's Vane. We know who drew that guy.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Sim drew that for sure.
And you get that one in a bonus book, and you definitely don't want to miss it.
Yeah, that story came out so cool. I mean, just Sim, I would just, when I was lettering that, I would just read it over and over again because I just feel like that character came together so well. Like his voice
did.
in the narration is he's such a badass man.
Dude, we sat down and we had the idea, the design within 15 minutes?
Yeah.
The layout was done when we knew exactly what he was gonna look like.
Oh man, it's so cool.
Yeah, here's
Brian's
the-
having a great time.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for this stuff. I'm a
I
sucker
love
for
it.
Yeah. I'm the target audience, without a doubt.
And when I did the cover, I'm like, dude, I even designed you the action figure. There you go.
Here you go, Drew. This is the interior cover for Vane, which is the Sim story, and the first page here. So he's got his huge gun,
Oh, must have.
and then you get to see the devil giving him his bounty contract.
Damn, the devil's got great abs.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he's in hell. He's the king of hell. So come on.
Yeah, they're real too. He doesn't just airbrush those on.
He's got a strong core for sure.
Yeah,
He has abs
So-
for days.
it's a lot of fun.
I love
Joe.
Puff Satan.
Here's a vein up here, Joe's version of him. And John Malin's always like, "Oh, I love that character with the cigar."
Yeah,
Always
dude, I'm
pointing
telling
out.
you, he's the most badass out of all of them. Not
So-
saying like they're not all cool, because I like the silhouette a lot. You know the shit.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
But
they're
Vane
all-
is Vane.
they're all great. Now I already have this book. Can I still order that separately, or do I need to reorder the book and have that as a perk?
Yeah, that's
No,
what I was
you
saying
could-
earlier. You put it back.
Yeah.
You put it available. Yeah.
Yeah, you could go
Oh.
on there, and it's the perk is called Just the Bonus Comic.
Oh,
You could grab that, and we'll ship it out right away.
I need that.
Yeah,
Very
and
cool.
that is the normal book is, I believe, 72 pages, and the bonus book is 56 pages. So, again, we went overboard because every stretch goal unlocked a new story in that bonus book.
Yeah.
So you're getting a lot for those 2 books.
Oh, I'm all over that shit.
Yeah.
There it is. Just
So
the
what's
bonus
the
comic
next step?
right there.
Are you doing individual spin-offs, or are you going to do another collection?
So for the second book in the Lost Pages series, we're going to do another collection. It's going to focus a little bit more on these characters. The stories are going to be a little longer,
Cool.
so we can kind of dive into their backstory a bit, because there's a lot of material to go through. And then what I kind of want to do is maybe do some one-shots focusing on characters. Like I would really like to do a Crimstone one-shot, which is that big purple monster and the chick.
Oh man.
Um,
Can I just interrupt you for a second and just mention
Yeah.
what an incredible artist? What's her name? Maria
Maria the Wolf.
Maria the Wolf
Lopez, yeah.
Lopez. Man, it's great work. I mean, the colors are also really beautiful, and it's interesting because it's like I'm seeing Robert Crumb. I'm also seeing some of the Biz. It's just, I love when you see an artist that's not just inspired by one artist, they're inspired by a bunch of artists.
Oh yeah.
And so it all gets thrown into like a creative blender and gets poured out into the page, and it's something new and fresh. Wonderful stuff. Has she ever worked in the industry before, or in the medium? Is this her first sequential work?
So she has been drawing all of her life, and she actually went to the Chicago Comic Institute school that they have over here. She
Mhm.
graduated from there, and then she basically, and she would go to conventions. That's where I met her, at cons.
That's awesome.
I think she was in an anthology at one point for something, as most comic artists starting off do anthologies. But after she graduated, she just stopped drawing for like 2 years. And I've known her probably like 5 years now, and Sim and I were hanging out late at night while I was probably lettering Magic Cop or something last year, and I had always been showing her work off, so he knew her just through me showing him. And I'm like, dude, I wish I could get Maria to do this Crimstone story with me. And he's like, dude, tell her to come back and do it. And, it'll be like kind of like a warm up for her, so she can get back into comics and do the stuff she wants to do.
Yeah, it's less scary to do a short story.
Yes.
To come
yeah.
back in than going like, hey, here's a full 20-page story. Like,
Right.
hey, I'll walk you in with a 4 or 5 page.
Yeah. So in fact, I had a 4-page script, which that story is in the bonus comic now. We started working on that. And then I'm like, this is going amazingly. I love the character and the stuff we're doing together. So let's do the main story for the Lost Pages with Crimstone. And she's like, okay. So we knocked that out. And now she's I think she did a story for Adam Lawson in the Kill Journal, because he hired her on because of
Oh, hell
working
yeah.
in the Lost Pages. So that, and I think she's doing another graphic novel for someone else doing something indie.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah.
That's fantastic news, because holy shit! I mean, this is like a buried talent.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, she's got a really cool IP that delves into Norse mythology as well, and I wrote a 12-page intro for it that I
Yeah.
hope one day we get to work on together.
That would be
But
cool.
she's working on some other stuff right now, so hopefully
She's like,
we'll be able
"Phil
to
who?"
work together in the future.
Yeah, she's definitely got a bright future in the medium. That's for sure. It's wonderful work. It doesn't look. It certainly doesn't look like somebody's first comic. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's
and
what's crazy about it.
This is basically her first. I don't want to say big thing, but I mean her first big thing, and the thing that has the most eyes on it for sure. Because,
Beautiful.
but I'm glad we were able to do this together.
And
Look at the way
You
you
also- with that project-
Sorry,
with
go
that
ahead.
project, you also help a lot of creators to get noticed and get more
yeah.
work and
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm talking about. It's like, you got a bunch of ringers in here, like Joe Ball, but you've also got some new talent, and it's something really exciting about discovering new talent, where you can be like, okay, I was with this artist from day one. I remember their first stuff when it came out.
Yeah, it is cool, and it's cool to see that it's like, okay, this is their first published stuff. It's awesome. Yeah, I really appreciate getting the help on this that we were able to get, because nothing like working with these guys, none of it was really like pulling teeth, So I'm
Yeah,
just-
everybody was enthusiastic, huh?
yeah.
That's fucking great.
Yeah, that's great to hear.
It shows. It really it comes off in the general vibe of the book. That's for sure.
Because creation's enough of a struggle, and life's enough of a struggle that like you don't need the dealings with your coworkers to be a huge struggle, or the process to be a struggle,
Yep.
Oh, it's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
It's like Preston and I, we discuss this sometimes. It's like, even when it's because it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, right? Putting a book together, the campaign and everything. When you're feeling a little bit down or discouraged, that's when you have to slap yourself upside the head and go, wait a second, we're making comic books here. How freaking awesome is that?
Yeah.
And, you can't lose that sense of gee whiz, It'll get you over those humps for sure. Can't be depressed doing this shit.
Also, like just being reminded, like I constantly feel like the old man, where I'm just like, this is so cool how we can connect. This is so cool how we have this opportunity. This is so cool that I don't want to get too comfortable with that. I want it to stay. I hope it stays cool feeling like that. It's stayed cool feeling for years, so I don't see it leaving anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean,
it would really be a downer if it started to suck. Yeah.
That's a great panel.
Look at that, man.
Yeah, that is that. So when I was throwing together the campaign page, we were still working on everything, right? So I wanted 2 pages to show for each character that are like, kind of big moments. Because when I write my comics, I kind of outline them around these moments, and they usually happen on splash pages, maybe double page spreads, where it's like, okay, you're building up to this moment, so it's memorable. So the comic's memorable.
Right.
So when people think back, they'll be like, oh, remember that intro page of the Masquerade where he's standing above the city. This is speaking of homages, this is kind of another homage to the Shadow #1, where he's like, there's a train flowing by him and he's giant, he's got the 2 guns holding it, and it's introduction for the Shadow for the first time. So I wanted those moments to show up. So this was one of them. If you scroll back up to that Crimstone piece, I told Maria, I'm like, okay, I want this double page spread done for the campaign so we could show it off. this was the cover, but the next image is like kind of explains how Krim is an imaginary friend of Taz. Right here, this page, the dialogue in there, and you could see Krim as a little guy in her head, young, and then him getting antagonized by these inner monsters in her mind when she forgets about him, until in that last panel he has enough of it and he just turns into this raging beast and he starts fighting back, grabbing that monster by the throat. And then in the next one, that big last shot of Krim punching that caged fighter out.
It's awesome. It's awesome stuff.
The lettering integration into the art on that previous page was great too.
Thank you. Yeah, I do the lettering myself.
Oh, very cool. No, it's organic. It's part of the story. It doesn't feel gimmicky. Yeah, It's just, that's cool, man. Good job.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, and especially for Krim, when he talks, I made a font for him myself, where it's like cool. Some of the letters are bigger than the other ones, and he's got this, wacky, weird, monstrous voice, and his narration boxes are different than regular ones. So yeah, I think lettering helps me kind of further the story a little bit as well, and I can edit it along the way, being the writer and the letterer.
Yeah, no, definitely that can help if you've got the skills to do the lettering and you're the writer. That's a bonus.
But it's one of the things that we used to always talk about, is the fact that we always thought that people forgot the art of storytelling with lettering. Like it's the same thing, when you do comics, people think it's just a drawing. It's not just a drawing, it's the paneling. It's how that image needs to lead you to that second panel. That to give you that illusion of movement or something. Everything in how you compose, you place your panel, the pacing and everything is part of the storytelling. So is the lettering.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that I like a lot. Like I kept telling Phil, like, you need to push that even further. Like, I love that. It's the same thing I try to do in my book with my bro that does the lettering. It's we need to bring that back. Have fun with the letters, the this, the that. Like, change the fonts for different characters. It will emulate the idea of having a different voice to people.
Yes, exactly. Because every medium has certain things that you can only do in that medium, right? Certain things you can only do in the theater. There's certain things you can only do in film. There's certain things you can only do in music. There's certain things you can only do in comic books.
And depending on how you would do that ding there, before I wanted to do it before he changed the image. Sorry. But depending on how he's gonna illustrate that ding there, you're gonna perceive it a different way. Is it gonna be just a little ding or a ding, or is it going to have an echo? Is it very vibrating in the room that it was that loud?
Exactly.
Yeah. And if you scroll back up to that ding 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 picture, Drew, with the big punch, it's also another thing with, like, in CG, talking to other creators and getting their input. This, Sim's totally right. This was gone through a bunch of different times where the dings were in different positions, where I wanted it. And also I showed it to Carl O'Rowe from Deathsworn, and I'm like, what do you think of these dings? And he's like, I like them, but I think they should have this, like, gradient orange to yellow to it. And he referenced the old, like, Street Fighter logo has that. It's like an orange, red to yellow gradient. I'm like, yeah, that's really cool. It pops. And if you ever see in any of my books or anything that I letter, you'll, could kind of tell I lettered it if I'm putting the art in front of some of the letters, because I love that. I love, pushing the distance back and putting things in front of it. I just
layering.
Yeah.
It's
pretty cool. So it kind of integrates the lettering into the art more.
It feels like he's moved since that first ding.
Exactly.
First ding went, and then he swung.
Ding, ding.
And that's, I mean, that's the visual storytelling.
Yes.
Like, you've layered it in a way that it's not even hidden. I mean, it's hidden because you just look at it as an overall image, but you've got it layered like that, like how the reader's going to, pan across.
And another thing is the speech bubble he has is totally something that Maria does in her art and, like, her pinups she does, her traditional stuff, she'll do a speech bubble and put a skull inside of it to just signify like rage and anger and stuff. So
Right.
before I started lettering it, I'm like, hey, can you do a sheet of a bunch of different skulls and a bunch of different crazy speech
Cool.
bubbles, and I'll scan it in and I'll put them into the Crimstone story, wherever I think they should fit. And so she did that. So I was able to drop those in certain spaces because her, like, though that type of speech bubble stuff I love, and she just draws them so cool and puts her own style on it. So I even integrated some of her art into the lettering.
So cool.
Very
And,
cool.
and the whole thing also has a little bit of a graffiti vibe to it.
Yes, yeah, we definitely wanted that because when we dive more into this character, the female character Taz, she's like this biker mechanic graffiti chick who's also a bodybuilder. So there's different aspects. She's very much our urban character. So there's graffiti in her theme, and if you ever look at the logo for Crimstone, very much graffiti style. She rides motorcycles, and she's kind of a bodybuilder chick. So all those aspects we wanted in there.
The girl is thick.
Yeah.
To quote the great American poet Flavor Flav.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy.
So let's.
Yes,
we
there's
haven't watched your video here. So
Oh, cool. Yeah, yeah.
better roll.
The lost pages in the minds.
And
Oh
then, of
my
course, in the stall.
Dude, this part's great.
Comics,
Oh.
the first book in their connected universe of heroes.
And how do you get that little circle to happen in your video now?
Nice one.
It's almost like it's
With a cover
stalling.
by legendary illustrator Simon Bisley. The Lost Pages is a story of a magical book in the hands of a homeless man. Within it are tales lost to time of heroes from different eras and walks of life, all protecting humanity from evil. As the word of the book is spoken around a trash fire, new crusaders of justice will be revealed to this world. A supernatural vigilante on the hard streets of Chicago named the Silhouette. An ancient sorcerer battling horrific myth on the high seas known as Wild Card. A modern-day mental monster from the mind of a bodybuilder babe, Crimstone. And a pulp hero from the 1930s, a master of disguise donning the mask of the masquerade. This is just the beginning, for in the future these heroes and more will come together to write the end of the world. But for now, the ink of life flows on every page. Will you be there to read it? Only on Indiegogo. Only on Indiegogo!
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, seriously,
Right.
suckers, if you haven't backed this yet, back it now. And I just ordered the bonus book because
Thanks, man.
I got to have that shit.
And in that trailer too, there's the song in the background. It was composed specifically for the Lost Pages, composed by Vosto Vlad, who's an awesome synthwave artist. And if you guys back it, you get that theme song as well as an MP3 sent to you.
That's awesome.
So check your emails, guys. Yeah.
That's so cool.
So
I
let's
love
see
getting
the-
music in comics. Sorry, go ahead.
I just wanted to see the wrap up here on this. This is
Yeah. I think Sim was right. That fixed the nose. Look at that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm happy with it. Yeah, it all balanced out. It seems to work.
Yeah.
that
'cause
is awesome, man. It's very
it-
beautiful.
Before it didn't look naturally like a cast shadow.
No,
Now it
you're
does
right.
now.
That's what I love doing on streams too. People go, "Hey, that doesn't look right." You're like, "Hey, cool." Like it's like having someone in studio with you.
Yeah. Like we were saying, the bullpen, which
This
is
is
pretty goddamn
awesome.
cool.
awesome.
Mhm.
That's an
Yeah, it
awesome
is.
piece, man. That is an
Yeah,
awesome
Thank you.
piece.
Well, thanks for the inspiration.
Oh man.
Is that cool?
Yeah. We
Now, where's
yeah,
that going?
Do you want to show what I was playing with during the show?
No. Nobody
Okay.
cares. About
Oh,
I
Nobody
care.
cares about you,
I
Sin.
care.
Take your shirt off.
Nice, Rose.
Oh, awesome.
Ooh, I love that one, dude.
Also,
Yeah, man.
I did that one, and then I was doing that one, where you're gonna see her the cannons popping out of the arm there.
That's sick.
Damn, you're so fast.
I know. He's crazy like that, man.
And it doesn't look rushed. That's the other thing too.
No.
It's not like all of the fan art pieces look like you were commissioned
I
to.
know.
Yeah,
Some
do
of them I am.
I mean,
So cool.
I know this is your character, but I just mean all the ones you're doing this week. It was just, God, they're so good.
Oh, thanks. But
And
then,
that's
you
one
know,
of the.
the
Oh,
murder
go ahead.
weapon. The murder weapon one was a commission, and it may or may not be a cover.
Ooh,
Sweet.
that's exciting.
Well, I mean, that's one of the things that I also love about this scene is how you artists are like doing something for this project, you're doing something for that project, and you're seeing like everybody's art appearing on different people, everybody else's campaigns, and I just love it. It's so cool. The spirit of it is just awesome.
I
It
saw
is
some
freaking
hidden
cool.
ink slayer in there too.
Mm-hmm.
One of those
Yeah, boy.
panels.
Yeah, boy.
Yep. Because Inkslayer, it's me, Scotsman, Inkspot, and Beacon, forming a little production studio
Hell yeah.
called
Oh.
Inkslayer Entertainment.
Oh, and the stuff that you guys have been producing so far just looks awesome.
Dude, who would have
Definitely.
known that Scotsman was a trained professional inker, right? that came from the same place as Ryan,
Yeah, man.
trained by the Mickey family.
So
My
cool.
favorite inker with art.
Small world.
Oh yeah, it is, and it's freaking awesome. Like, did you guys see the Luani piece that he inked?
No.
Mm-mm.
No. Cool. Hold on a sec. Right here. Boom. Share my screen. Bingo. This is him inking my pencils of Luani.
What?
Whoa.
Dude.
Slick.
Dude.
Right?
Dude.
Like butter.
This is Scottman. Like, he's not. He'll tell you, I'm not a color. He's not a colorist. He's a trained inker,
Fantastic.
and that came out awesome. And right now, Inkspot's gonna do his little colors on it, so you're gonna get to see the production like we did with the what was it? The demon, the succubus that you saw past there. It was a rough layout by me, but this is tight penciled by me. Then it was inked by Scotsman, and you're gonna see it colored by Inkspot.
Send me that in the DMs. I want to look at that up close.
Will do.
Beautiful. It's beautiful.
Please,
Drew,
thank you.
Drew, don't you wish that we could draw like that?
I do. It makes me cry a little inside. Just
You don't have to deal with these artists.
well, I would
Love it.
save a lot of money. I'd tell you that. I spend a fortune on artists these days. So
You keep saying that, but we do have to feed ourselves, right? And keep ourselves with a roof
Yeah,
over our head.
You don't draw. That's not work.
Okay,
That's not
yeah.
work.
But wait. Hold on. You
Hey,
say that
Frank.
like you say that like I don't
See,
actually
Ryan?
have to pay my own bills also. You know what I mean? So
That-
Oh man.
That's why I like Phil. He understands us.
Yeah.
you work with and you
he's
hang
sucking
out
up
with
for another
artists.
job, Phil. You hear that? He's sucking up for another job.
You hear the stories, man. I know how you guys get any freelancers. I know how sometimes it's difficult just getting paid for what you do, and how people have this attitude that what you're doing isn't work.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And so, well, why should they pay you? Yeah, it's fucked up.
But I insist on paying so it gets done my way. I'm just saying. So
That's the good way to think. Yeah. You're
Yep.
like, if I want to be the boss, you got to pay the cost to be the boss.
Yes.
I like that.
I don't care as long as it turns out awesome.
Yeah.
Drew, could
James
I
Brown.
show an exclusive on your show?
I would like
Ooh.
that. Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna
As long as
have.
your
I'm gonna
pants
share
stay
my
on.
screen.
You gotta keep your pants on.
Zip.
He's already
Oh.
naked from the waist down.
Oh, dude, I like that T-shirt.
Yeah, man.
The biz,
Nice.
man.
Beautiful.
Check this out.
Whoa.
So this is something special. This is art by Alan Alonso for Magic Cop 2. We just launched the mailing list, and he just sent me. Even though this is a picture from his phone on his screen, I'm pretty sure this is him doing colors to a big piece that we're going to have on some new merch that's going to be on the Magic Cop 2 campaign. Never before seen.
Very cool.
It's going to have basically all the Magic Cop characters on it, the bad guys and the good guys.
Bitchin'.
You said you've launched the campaign for Magic Cop 2?
I launched the mailing list, which
Yeah, the mailing list. It didn't come up in the search just now, so.
yeah. Well, yeah, it's hard to find pre-launch stuff on Indiegogo. I think there's a section for it. But yeah, this is the Magic Cop 2 mailing list, guys. You could we posted the cover image. I can pull it up in a second, but
I found it.
oh, awesome. Yeah, this is Magic Cop 2 White Lines. That's the title, because we're dealing with a new drug on the streets of Ambrosia.
And link in the chat, everybody.
Face.
Yeah, so the first Magic Cop was subtitled Drop Dead Legs. We're kind of going with all the subtitles are going to be like 80 songs. You got Drop Dead Legs by Van Halen. You got White Lines.
That's great.
And this is dealing with a new strain of pixie dust, which is the big drug in the city of Ambrosia. But this drug is turning junkies into magical powered beings. So they snort it up and they get superpowers basically. And the Magic Cop
really high. They get really high.
They have to figure out who's making these new drugs and hunt them down. We got a new bad guy, the Headless Hitman. Also, he's
Nice.
of course a play on the Headless Horseman from Sleepy Hollow, but he's the most notorious contract killer in the city, and he's coming for one of the Ambrosia PD's heads.
That is so cool. I love that.
So my brother is he's drawn away. He's almost 30 pages in with pencils and inks. This one's going to be a big one, just like Magic Cop 1 was. So we got colors coming in as well. Also, we always have to have
Booty shot. I love that.
Is that a
the hot
postcard?
babes, the mermaid,
It should be.
fast cars. But yeah, it's going to be nonstop 1980s magic fun, guys. It's going to be great.
Hail Los Bros Diaz.
And link is in
Oh, yeah.
in the chat there, so make sure you click that and give them your email so that they can spam you. So
Let me see if I can pull up the full. Yeah,
And
I'm going to pull up the full cover here. And if you guys missed out on Magic Cop 1, we're going to be reprinting it with a new cover from an awesome CG artist. So you guys could hang on to the first ones. So this
do
is
you know
popular.
which artist? Do you know which artist yet, or you just don't want to tell us?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, the cover's done already. It's awesome. Yeah,
Well, who is it?
I can't tell you yet. I think we'll probably keep it till when we launch. But here's the main cover by Pablo Romero.
Yes.
Very cool.
Super 80s,
Yeah, it is.
Awesome.
which is on broomsticks.
That is awesome.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
I like the
Yeah, so-
retro look of it. It's so cool.
Get
Yeah.
on that. Sign up, everybody, please. We're not stopping.
No, clearly.
Oh, I just want to show a little something in homage to that little cover that he has there of heavy metal on his t-shirt.
Mhm.
I did a cover for Zidara 9 in 2014.
Ooh.
There you go.
Oh yeah, Sim did
Where
it.
you saw Luwani.
Yeah. Do you have that handy?
Yeah, I'm sharing it right now.
Sorry, I was
Oh,
putting my email
hell
into
yeah.
his campaign.
That was
It's
something I did in
so good.
2014, and it was the variant. It was the limited variant cover for Zidara 9, number
You
issue
should-
4 or 5.
You should do this now.
No, 7.
You know,
I mean,
Mm,
redo it.
mhm.
yeah, like
Huh.
with Luani now, and
Huh.
like another
not?
version of it.
You're
I
fast.
like-
It'll be done in an hour.
Do it already. Done in an hour.
Or you could,
No,
or you could
that
do
is
it
a
with
good
the
idea,
Ink
though.
Slayer team. You could
It
just do
is.
it with the Ink Slayer team. You draw it, you pencil it up, let Scotsman ink that stuff, and then
Yeah, that'd be
let,
cool.
Ink Spot color it.
You know what? Yeah, that
So,
didn't, that
so you
didn't
just
fall
whip,
into
you
that
just
here.
whip out your pencils and hand it on over, and so you guys worry about it now.
Seriously, Simon, no reason not to.
I will. I will do it.
Kick ass.
It's a good idea. Like I saw the T-shirt. I'm like, oh,
Threaten me
like-
with a good idea, you know.
yep.
Yeah, I love the.
All right, we're up on 2 hours now, guys. So let's just go ahead and sign off on this. Everybody, thank you for coming. Hey, if you are on Kickstarter for some kind of crazy reason, make sure you check out Six Gun Gorilla on there, because it's still an active campaign, right? For what? How much longer on that, Brian?
Oh no, it's closed, but there
it's
is the
closed?
mailing list. Yeah, it's closed, but there's a mailing list for for Six Gun Gorilla number 8 Cemetery with
awesome.
Promises, and that's gonna be a sick campaign. I don't know if I can provide as much stuff as Phil did. but there's going to be trading cards, and there's going to be also a figurine. So
Yeah, well, Phil has to, give his brother a bunch of coke and put his ass on the street to pay for those.
hey man, that's one of the things I love about this community.
No.
People keep stepping their games up, so we have to keep up with them. And who wins out? The consumer. The backer.
Right. You're not understanding. You saw the car he has? You ever see the movie Deuce Bigelow?
Got to cut through a corner somewhere. man.
You gotta respect Brandon, dude.
I'm a
Hell
hoe.
yeah.
You know I'm a hoe. Walk 3 streets after every show. All right, so we're gonna end the broadcast there. And thank you for coming to another episode of Indie Comics Interviews. We loved having you here. Thank you so much for hanging out with us in the chat. Thank you, Ryan Wynn, for coming and sharing Hammerella with us. Thank you, Phil, for showing us the Lost Pages yet again. That's a beautiful, beautiful book. And thank you so much for the Captain Love artwork. That is some amazing fan art. That is just awesome right there. Back Captain Love. And Sim, thanks for being here. Brian, really nice seeing you. You guys are like regulars, of course. You guys are like the team. So so it's like, but thanks for actually showing up today. And we will